Hey everybody, I'm going to show you how to code this bouquet of flowers so that you can write your own custom questions, and if people answer them correctly, pixels will appear a little bit by a little bit, eventually forming the full design. I hope this video will help you. Even if you have your own pixel art that you just want to code along, you can do that too. And if you want to get this exact template that looks exactly like my screen, you can click on a link in the description below and we can code it together. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I'm going to do is come up to the percentage and change it to 75 so that I can see everything on the screen. The next thing I'm going to do is write my questions and answer them. I do that by clicking on the box and just typing. And I want to choose questions that have one solid answer. They can be written or numbers, but I don't want things that are open to interpretation, such as opinions, because I want to be able to have a straightforward answer for the code. So you can go ahead and write your questions and then also answer them. Once we have our questions written, we can talk about the coding. We are going to be coding the answer boxes only. So that means I'm going to write a code for each one of these boxes. I'm going to tell the computer what answer needs to be in that box for the code to work, and that I want it to turn a certain color. For example, if someone puts a 9 in this box, I want it to turn, I don't know, let's say the light purple. And if someone puts a 25 in this box, I want it to turn another color. I also need to tell the computer what box I'm talking about. This box is the first one I'm coding, and it has a name. Every single box in this entire spreadsheet has a name. We call the boxes by their column and their row. So if I can tell the computer the column and row of this box, then it'll actually know which one I'm talking about. For example, this box here is in column B. In fact, all of these are in column B. The row is over here, and you can see that it's shaded a little darker so we can see it. This box is rows 4, 5, and 6. But when I'm naming the box, I use the first one, which is 4. Therefore, this box is column B, row 4, or B4. This box is B7, and this box is B10. In my code, I will write the column and row of the box so the computer knows what column I'm talking about. And I will also tell the computer what the answer to my question is. In other words, I'll tell the computer there needs to be a 9 in this box in order for the code to activate, a 25 in this box, the word February in this box, and so on. So now let's actually look at the code itself. It's down here, and I suggest writing it down. It's a custom formula, and here it is. Equals $column, $row equals answer. The equal sign and the dollar signs are just symbols that you're just going to have to type. And then for the column and the row, that's the name of the box. So for this one, it's B for the column, 4 for the row, equals, and then the answer is where you type the answer to your own question. So this one, when I code it, the code will be equals $B, $4 equals 9. This one will be equals $B, $7 equals 25. This one will be equals $B, $10 equals February. That's the code that we're going to write. So let's go ahead and actually put that into practice. I'm going to click on the one I actually want to start with. Remember, we're only coding these answer boxes, nothing else. This is the one I want to start with, so I have it selected, and I'm going to open up the coding window. To do that, come up to Format, and if you don't have these menu items, click here. Click on Format and choose Conditional Formatting. And if you ever close this window down accidentally, that's how you open it back up again. Before I start my code, I want to pick what color I want this box to turn, and I'm going to pick one of these 10 colors that's actually in my flowers. Let's do the darkest purple. There's only a little bit of it here. It's these 5. Before I start the code, I want to make sure I can find that purple down here. So I'm going to select it and click up here just to see where it's located. If I click, I can see that it's one of the custom colors and it's the first purple in this line. That's important to me because once I'm down here, I'm kind of on my own in terms of finding it. So I always just like to look at it first. Now, before I continue, I want to click on the box I'm actually coding, which is this one. All right, let's get back to where we were. This is our coding window here, and we're going to start at the bottom. First, we're going to tell the computer what color we want that box to turn, and I decided I wanted to do that darkest purple. There it is. Next, we're going to write the code that we were just talking about. To do that, click here, scroll to the very last option. It's called Custom Formula Is. Click on that. This is where you'll write the code, telling the computer the column and row of this box, telling the computer that the answer needs to be 9, in my case. Equals $B, that's the column, $4, that's the row, equals 9, that's the answer. There's my code. Now keep this open, but I just want to show you. This code is successful. It has been written. I told the computer if there's a 9 in that box, turn it purple. If there's something else in the box or nothing in the box, don't turn it purple. But if there's a 9, turn it purple. So you can see that the code was successful. Now I wrote my code already. All I want to do now is just attach some of these pixels to that code so that when this turns purple, they also come along for the ride and turn purple as well. So clicking here, I'm going to open this code up again. This is the one I was just working on. I want to add those pixels. This is my last step. To do that, I come up to Apply to Range and click here. This window pops up. It's always in the way, so I click and drag it over. And you can see that it says B4 to B6. That's the part that's already selected, which is this box here. This is part of the code already. And I want to add on the other dark purples. In order to add on, I need to hold down the Control button on my keyboard. You can also hold down Command if you're on a Mac. I hold down Control so that I can add to the code or add more pixels without just replacing the ones that are already selected. It lets me click on many things at once. So I'm holding down Control the whole time I'm doing this, and I'm just going to click on the pixels that I want to add. And you can see that that box there is still selected. It's kind of hard to see, but it's got like that little blue line around it, and it's still in the code. So I have now all of these little pixels and that one are all part of this code. Now I'm going to take my finger off of Control, and I need to do 3 steps. Step 1 is to click OK on the range. Step 2 is to click Done on the code. And step 3, this one's really important, is to click on the paint bucket and hit Reset. Now, my code has been written. I'm going to click off it though, because a lot of stuff was selected. Let's test it. To do that, click on the 9 and hit backspace or delete. And notice that the pixels disappear as well as this color. Put the 9 back in, and it won't activate until you click on something else. You have to get off of it. There we go. It worked. That code is good. It's right here if you need to open it up or add anything to it. But we're done with that color. We've done all that dark purple. I don't want to leave this dark purple in there for now, so take the 9 away. Code is still there, but take the 9 away because I don't want to get confused about what has been coded. So I want to see my flowers disappearing as I go. Let's do our next one. I'm doing 1 color per box here. I'm going to do the yellow. Before I start, let me just find that yellow so I can see where it's located. It's one of the standard colors up top. Now I come back to the box I actually want to code, which is this box. If this is still up here, click Add Another Rule. If it's not, open it the same way we did before. So I'm going to click Add Another Rule for that box there. We are going to start at the bottom again. We're going to tell the computer what color we want that box to turn, which is this yellow color. Next, I'm going to write my code. Click here, come all the way down to Custom Formula Is, and here is where we'll write our code, telling the computer the column and row of this box, and telling the computer the answer to my question, which is 25. equals $B, that's the column, $7, that's the row, equals 25, that's the answer. Code is ready, but obviously we want to add these other yellows to the existing code. This is still selected. We're going to add to the range by clicking on this little window button and slide this over. Hold down Control or Command and just click on the other yellows in the picture. If you click on something you don't mean to click on, you can either, let me show you, if I click on that, you can either hit the trash there, or even easier, just click again and it'll take it away. Now take your finger off of Control. Remember there are 3 steps we have to do. Try to think about what they are. Step 1 is to hit OK on the range. Step 2 is to hit Done on the code. And then what is step 3? That one's really important. Paint bucket. Come up here and hit Reset. Great, click off of it because a lot of things are selected. Now we're going to hit Delete. And let's test out both of them, and we should have a full bouquet for both of those. There we go. Delete the 25 and the 9 so that we can see what we've already coded because it should be disappearing. On my next one, let's do the dark green. But first, let me click on it so I can figure out where it's located. Okay, it's one of the custom colors, second from the right. Great. Now I got to remember to actually click on the box I'm actually coding because I'm not coding these boxes. I'm coding this box. I am going to choose Add Another Rule, and we'll start at the bottom. I'm going to tell the computer what color I want it to be, and now I'll write the code. Equals $B, that's the row, or the column, sorry, $10, that's the row, equals February. That is my answer. Notice that it turned white. There's something wrong with the code. This is a really easy fix. If your answer is a word like February or Venus, you just have to do one little extra step that we didn't have to do before with the 9 and the 25. The extra step is just to put quotation marks around the word, just like if someone's speaking in a book. There it is. It turned green to show me that it worked. So you get that immediate feedback. So again, if it's a word, put quotes around it. If it's a number, you don't have to. All right, this code is done, and now I want to add to the range. Click here, slide it over, hold down Control or Command, and we're going to click on multiple pixels at once. You can also click and drag like that to select a bunch if they're next to each other. Take my finger off Control. Can you remember what the 3 steps are? OK on the range, done on the code, and reset the paint bucket. Let's click off of it, test it, and test all of them. Remember, the color doesn't show up until you click off of it. All right, for our next one, let's do the dark red. So let me click on it and just see where it's located here. So we've got all these little dark reds. I want to make sure I can find it. It is the 1, 2, 3, 4th one in on the custom colors. And I do want to say with this, if you end up using like a different dark red, it's really not that big of a deal. I like to use the same colors that I started with, so I don't have to think about it too much. But if you ended up using a darker red, or you clicked on the light red and turned it dark red, it wouldn't be that big of a deal because it's just shading. It's still going to look nice, and it's still going to look like flowers. So you don't need to worry that much. All right, now before I hit Add Another Rule, you see that little box is selected. I got to make sure that I'm clicking on the box I'm actually coding, which is my Venus box. Click here. Now I'll click Add Another Rule. And again, I'm going to start at the bottom and choose my color. There it is. Now I'm going to write my code. Custom formula is telling the computer the column and row of this box and telling the computer that someone needs to put the word Venus in the box in order for the code to work. So equals $B, that's the column, $13, that's the row, equals Venus. Remember that it's a word, so you have to put quotes around it. And watch as it turns red once I actually get it correct. There we go. Now I'm going to apply to range. slide this over. I want this box to be selected. This part needs to be in my data range. So hold down Control and click on all of the dark reds that are in the picture. And notice that that original Venus box, kind of hard to see, but it is still selected too, because I need that to be part of the data range. I want this box to turn colored and this box. All right, now we do our 3 steps. Okay on the range, done on the code, and reset the paint bucket. We'll test it now. There we go. So I am just going to do 1 color per question until I get to the end. And I'm going to speed up the video now, and we'll check in at the end and see how it looks. Okay, when we're finished, there should be nothing left. If you left any pixels behind, you can click down here. There's a video called Pixel Art Common Mistakes and How to Fix Them, or you can just go to my channel and it's in my Pixel Art playlist, and it'll help you if you left a pixel behind or if you forgot to include one of these boxes in the range, and it'll help you with some common mistakes that I definitely had when I first started out. If you click on these, you can see over there on the right, it's cycling through and showing me the code for each box. So if I need to find a certain color, I can. And it's just cool that I can see all the codes there. Let's go ahead and put the answers in and see how it looks. Pretty cool. We can also close this conditional formatting window. And there is our finished work. So again, if you click on this video, it will show you kind of how to fix any common mistakes you might have made. It's very, very normal for the first time to be kind of tricky and to make mistakes. And that's kind of part of the fun, because then it feels really great when you finish it and you'll feel really accomplished. So definitely stick with it and just know going in that it might be challenging, and that's perfectly fine. It will get way easier the more you practice. And let me know if you have any questions, and I hope that you have fun with this project.